Throughout lockdown, many people found more time to enjoy hobbies. The extra time we've had on our hands has been used across the country in the garden, doing some DIY, crafting, keeping fit and baking. Banana bread became an overnight sensation and the smell of freshly baked goods wafted across the land. At the same time, the world was changing dramatically. Life was being lived often in a different way, the new normal. What have we learned over this time? What's been different? What's been good or bad, joyful or difficult? How have we lived out our everyday faith as Christians? Worshipped and prayed, witnessed and acted for God. In the Diocese of Leicester, we are seeking a new process across the whole diocese to learn from the experience of recent months and, as we look to the future, seek to be shaped by God together. This process includes an invitation to everyone who is part of our diocesan family to share stories of what they have been learning and experiencing about everyday prayer, everyday witness, and everyday action. This Shaped by God Together process brings to mind that early lockdown baking. Much like creating a beautifully risen and tasty cake, this process is going to take time and needs different ingredients to make it work. To start off, we need the flour. To get the flour we put into our baked creations, it must first be harvested. And just as wheat is gathered from the fields to make flour, we want to gather in your stories of lockdown. There are many different types of flour: self-raising, strong bread, wholemeal, etc. In the same way, there are lots of different kinds of stories. When you add the flour into your mix, you first must sift it. Once we have gathered hundreds of stories from across the diocese, they will be sifted to see what they say. What are the stories of lament? What are the stories of hope? And what insights do they offer for the future? What vision do they suggest? To continue the metaphor, what kind of cake should we as the Diocese of Leicester be making? What is our unique recipe? What do we need to look like when we come out of the oven? Before we're ready to bake this cake, there will be other ingredients we need to pay attention to give the cake substance and flavour. Like adding butter, sugar, etc. in the right quantities to make a cake, there are different elements that we need to be part of the mix in the Shaped by God Together process. These include paying attention to our structures, finances, and most importantly, people, so that the final cake is one that it needs to be. The final stage of any cake's life is in the sharing. A cake kept in a cupboard goes stale. Cakes eaten by the bakers themselves will only make the baker bloated and unhealthy. But cakes shared become a party. In this way, our prayer is that this process will draw us all into closer relationships with each other and into the life and joy of a church and a diocese shaped by God.